I'm Robert Barnes from Spider Machines, and behind me is a Gauntlet Series 2. It's one of my favorite machines that M&R has ever produced. This one is a 10-color 12-station. It has a large shaft which is very similar to the Challenger 2 in size and structure, which gives the Gauntlet Series 2 a very robust print envelope. So if you take a look at the Gauntlet Series 2 in your used quest for automatic screen printing machines, I think it's important that you evaluate what the importance of AC heads and servo index can play for your business. One of the things you want to look at in print count, because a lot of people get intimidated, well, the machine has over 1 million prints. What you really want to look at is the main shaft and make sure that the main shaft is not worn, because all the ancillary items you can replace. Now, hiring a technician or a series of technicians to evaluate different machines that you may be interested in buying around the country is an important step as well, because let's face it, spending $1,000, which is much for one day of time for a technician, but you can spend that in travel. But by spending $1,000, you can get a proper evaluation of a machine. One of the things you have to evaluate when looking at a used piece of equipment is impression count, obviously, but you also have to look at the general condition of the machine. If you know going in that you've got to put several $1,000s in repair costs in the machine, you have to evaluate the time and what that time will cost you and your business. So it's not just, hey, can I get a great deal on the press? You also want to look at pallets, squeegees, and flood bars that are included with the machine, and making sure that those pallets, squeegees, and flood bars make sense for your business. So take a holistic approach, look at your freight costs, your transportation costs in relation to where you are, dismantling. If you're bidding at an auction, you also have to look at the buyer's premium, which can range from 10 to 20% depending on the region of the country and the amount of advertising they spent for the auction. So the thing about the Gauntlet Series 2 that I will caution you on is the E200, which was made by a company called Bijors. They were in Sweden, and they private labeled this for Mitsubishi. So Mitsubishi has discontinued it, so you may want to take a chance and invest $1,000 in having one of these on your shelf. I'm Robert Barnes from Spider Machines, and if you have any more questions about used automatic screen printing machines like this Gauntlet Series 2 behind me, feel free to contact me. You can also visit my blog at spiderpromo.com for more information.
When buying an automatic t-shirt printing machine or any used screen printing machine, asking all the right questions matter. So don't feel like you can't ask the right question. If you don't take the time to ask the questions, you certainly won't get the answers. Just a word of advice.
All right, what impression count is the good that?
Okay, here's what I say to people. If they're anal about greasing the main shaft, it could last millions and millions and millions and millions of cycles. So a machine that only has 500,000 cycles, the shaft could be shot.
And it looks like they've done.
Yeah, well, it looks, yeah. I mean, if you look at it, so my point is, at 500,000 it could be shot, or at 5 million it could be fine. So it really depends on how well they grease that shaft. But just like when you buy a car that has highway miles on it, everything gets all the miles, not just the motor and the transmission. So head 1 as an example, it's, you know, but you can replace the linear bearing under here for $200, and you essentially have a new track system. Now the belts, they last pretty good. Some of the gearboxes will leak. I mean, you'll see some leaking around the gearboxes. Worst case, you know, $400 or $500 you replace a gearbox. So, I mean, leaky cylinders, leaky stuff inside. We'll run this machine and I'll show you. Clear.